VirtueVerse presents To Treasure and Ponder.
When you think about the Christmas story, when the baby Jesus came into being, it was filled with lots of commotion that made for a rather hectic scene. There was a long and bumpy trip, the one Joseph and Mary had to take, where every step of the animal she rode made her pregnant body quake. When they arrived to the town, an innkeeper turned them away. He said, "You can't stay here in my inn. There's simply no place to stay. But if you want to stay in my stable, where all my animals are stored, go ahead and spend the night, but it's all the space I can afford." Inside was crowded with dirty animals that Joseph had to push to the side. He had to find a way to make a manger and clean hay to place inside. And he had to do it quickly. The baby could come at any minute. He had to make the manger just right so he could put the baby in it. And then he needed to find a basin and some water and maybe some bread. And Mary needed a strong hand to hold and a cool cloth for her head. And Joseph's mind was a jumble, and his heart was too. He was about to be the father to the Savior and husband to a girl he hardly knew. Then the wise men that were following a star came in and fell to the ground and called out praises to God for the baby, the king, had been found. And they cried out in loud praise, alarming the innkeeper inside innkeeping. And it startled the animals awake, and it kept Jesus from sleeping. And it was a lot going on, not unlike our Christmases today. Why, Christmas tends to be the busiest season of all, wouldn't you say? Because we eat a lot and we stay up late and take a box of ornaments and find something to decorate. And music plays and we sing lots of tunes and we sit in front of the TV and watch Christmas cartoons. And we go to Christmas parties and we eat lots of stuff and we do it all over again because we just can't get enough. But it might be good to stop and remember a single verse from Luke 2, which seems to be a part of the Christmas story meant for busy people like me and you. But Mary treasured up all these things and pondered them in her heart. The Christmas story isn't complete without this part. Treasuring and pondering. The God of the universe entered our story as a baby, just a baby, but full of God's glory. Mary thought long about it as she looked at her sleeping child. In her arms was the only hope for sinful man and God to be reconciled. Christmas is for having fun, an opportunity no one should squander. But in the manger was God with us, and that is something to stop and ponder.
This Christmas time and every day in the new year, we can treasure and ponder the baby Jesus, who was and is to come. VirtueVerse, To Treasure and Ponder, written and voiced by Dave Franco, a FrancoCreative production.